I think after both the countries had elections, there was a sense that there would be baby steps forward. And what better way to take that baby step than on the sidelines of a multilateral meet? I think both sides have done a good deal of expectation management by making it clear that this is a multilateral meet. But I think it is nevertheless significant that India has decided to field Foreign Minister Jaishankar rather than anyone else. I think that itself is a signal, at least that Pakistan and that India would like to stabilize the relationship, if not normalize it. And I think it's the very first baby step in what could be a process of stabilization of the relationship.
Ambassador Bisaria, you have argued that the ball is in Pakistan's court for any sort of resumption. And the fact is that on paper, it is Pakistan that halted trade. It is Pakistan that said, that threw you out when 370 was abrogated, threw you out unceremoniously from Islamabad. And of course, this all comes with the turf of being a diplomat. My question to you is, when you say the ball is in Pakistan's court, what do you expect Pakistan to do immediately for this to be more than baby steps?
Well, I think if you look back at the history of the relationship, we are talking of the last decade, and the last visit of a foreign minister was Sushma Swaraj, who went in December 2015, again for a multilateral meet. But that was a completely different multilateral meet, because what happened during that meeting was that the two sides had decided to resume their comprehensive dialogue and to take the relationship forward. It was followed in a few weeks by a visit by PM Modi to Islamabad, and a very friendly kind of moment between Prime Minister Modi and Nawaz Sharif. It so happens that the two leaders are still calling the shots 9 years later. And India's foreign minister is in Pakistan again. But I think this time there's been a good deal of expectation management to say that this is a multilateral visit. And what I mean by saying the ball is in Pakistan's court is that the host has the privilege of perhaps having a pull-aside informal exchange. And, it just takes a few minutes of informal conversation to perhaps say that maybe we should take the next baby step of sending back our high commissioners and resuming our missions at full strength, so that we can take this relationship forward and build this trust very gradually.
Well, it's more than baby steps. It's probably toddler steps, if you will. Last year in May, I was on your show in Goa when Bilawal Bhutto walked in, and they had no handshake. Jaishankar did his namaskar, and Bilawal did the same. And you asked me, is Bilawal reciprocating? And I said no. Bilawal has Sindhi blood in his veins, and for us Sindhis, this is our traditional secular salam. So we have crossed that, distance. And I think in terms of expectation management, what Ambassador Bisaria said, I think it's time that we go to the title of my honored guest, anger management. We go in that mode. And I think you got a good ice break yesterday when you talked to Nawaz Sharif, who gave you quite a few pleasant things. So when Ambassador Bisaria says the ball is in Pakistan's court, I think both Sharif and Jaishankar have entered the court. Now we will see who touches the ball, who pushes it, and where do we go from there. But, I think the very arrival of Jaishankar is significant. You have enough stuff on your plate in Delhi, especially in Ministry of External Affairs. I don't want to distract your viewers to any other subject, but you have enough
mm,
on your plate. Had he wanted not to come, just like your commerce minister, he could have attended it virtually. But I
mm.
think there is some realization both in Islamabad and Delhi that we need to move a bit forward, maybe a baby step or whatever you call it. I think not only in bilateral sense, but this is our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We can't change our parents and we can't change our neighbors. Pakistan would always be on India's western side, and India would always be on our eastern side. So we have to, find a way to negotiate and normalize our relations. I think Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, our former foreign minister, said it right today that since our esteemed guest is in town, he won't say anything. Even if he repeats that mantra that you just talked about, we will see what Mr. Isakdar says.
Yes. Just to say, and then I'll go to Ambassador Bisaria, that you're right in saying that Jaishankar could have chosen not to come, even at the last moment. But the flip turnaround question will also be asked of Pakistan, where Islamabad has been in lockdown. There have been street protests before there by supporters of Imran Khan. So Pakistan also has, crazy amount of stuff going on. But I want to bring in Ambassador Bisaria, and I know Murtaza Saab, you are familiar with my interview with Nawaz Sharif, but I will take the liberty of playing that clip once more in a bit. But I want Ambassador Bisaria to come in on this. The sense, Ambassador Bisaria, that this is more than a baby step. That Jaishankar needn't have gone. That even in the very last moment, he could have given any reason and not gone. That's the point that Murtaza Saab is in a sense alluding to. But the more specific question is this: Pakistan has a stated position in the past, because of which you were thrown out from Pakistan, that till the 370 abrogation is not revised in some way, bilateral relationships cannot resume. Now, the irony is that as Mr. Jaishankar will be speaking in Pakistan, Omar Abdullah will be taking his oaths as the next Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Nobody planned it like this, but this is the beauty of coincidences, right? Do you believe that Pakistan needs a face saver to walk back from its stated position? And what might that face saver look like?
Well, I would say the goalpost has shifted. I don't think that position is being emphasized by Pakistan anymore. That was a position taken in the very early days of post Article 370 confusion in Pakistan by the Imran Khan government. And in any case, that position was not endorsed by Pakistan's army, because the position taken by the army and some more serious thinkers was that Pakistan never recognized Article 370 anyway. It said that
Mm,
this was fake autonomy worked out
mm,
by Jawaharlal Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah in the early days, and that didn't hold much meaning. In any case, Article 370 had been hollowed out in the 1950s. So I think the position that was taken then was a rushed position, and Pakistan and its current government see no reason to be married to that position. If you look back, India over the last decade has had a position of no talks with terror, but that
mm,
is a more ambiguous position. On you haven't really defined what that level of terrorism is, and there has been a significant drop in terrorism, although it's not down to zero. Similarly, Pakistan had superimposed on that position a position that no talks with Article 370. But we haven't seen too many reiterations of that position. So I think there is a more pragmatic understanding that after elections in both countries, there is a time to relook at old positions, not to be too bogged down by them, and move pragmatically forward. And, to take this analogy of steps forward, whether it's baby or toddler, what hasn't served us very well in the past is the great leap forward. The prime ministerial visit, the bus journey, because Vajpayee went
Yeah.
in 99,
Yeah.
and soon he had Kargil. Modi went on a visit in 2015, and soon we had Pathankot and Uri that year. So the idea or is that we've tried those great leaps forward. Let's try the baby steps, and this is a baby step of a minister who is a very significant force and the chief diplomatic advisor of PM Modi, going across himself when there were other options of doing it, and being available in Pakistan. So I would say it is something which is already positive. And if he has a 3-minute conversation with someone on how to take the relationship forward, that would be a bonus. But for you, Barkha, I think congratulations on the scoop on getting Nawaz Sharif to say
Thank
what
you.
he did,
Thank
because
you.
I think it's very significant what Nawaz Sharif has said, that in the not too distant future he hopes to sit with Modi, or at least his government hopes to sit with India's Prime Minister. And I think what you perhaps need is another scoop from India's point of view. Is an interview with the army chief Asim Munir, where you ask him the same question, and with that we can triangulate and be sure that all of Pakistan's establishment is on board and would like to take this relationship forward.